Hello, today is Wednesday the 1st of July. Wow, we made it. Half the year of 2026 gone. Daisy's on her way to come and visit us. And how are you all feeling today? I've been feeling this heaviness. Perhaps it is something that the collective is feeling. I think there's a tremendous amount of uncertainty. Come here. Yes, come say hello. A tremendous amount of uncertainty when it comes to how we're supposed to be looking at life and processing the things that we have to go through on a daily basis. I've spoken about the word consumerism not as just being what we eat, see, and so on, but the need to fast is important. And then once we've created also that space through detachment. Oh, you're being so nice to me this morning. Thank you, Daisy. Yeah, once we've made space for these things, we have to start applying a daily spiritual practice. It's just going to help us to set a course north, to align us with God's source spirit. At the beginning of each of these months is a discourse. This one particularly for July, I want to just read you a small part of it before we go into some messages that were channeled through me this morning. And when I say that they are spirit-guided messages, yes, but a lot of it comes from the deep, intense experiences that I've had in my life that to some degree I've overcome, but I feel like, especially in the early hours of the morning or when I'm waking, I'm so much more relaxed to be able to tune in. There goes the Hardy does. That I'm so much more relaxed and I'm able to tune into a part of myself that I feel is spirit, but it's myself. And I think that that is the essential connection that soul has with the divine source. It's that union that our soul has with spirit that is our intuition. And one of the messages that came through was, how could we, as light beings, allow the ego, the body, the mind, to allow it to control and make decisions for our intuition? When did we stop relying on our intuition? Was it through our technology? Was it through entertainment, movies, an excess of stimuli, foreign scenarios, and ones that give us instant gratification? Because Spirit's timing, divine timing, is much, much slower. And we are encouraged to slow down to stillness. We hear that all the time. Meditate, get still, relax, empty the mind. Maybe that's not always going to be the best way for everybody. But that is the beginning of the science. So why wouldn't you want to detach from the things? If you're going through a transformation, obviously, why wouldn't you want to? And people that want to go through a spiritual transformation or an awakening process must understand that the proverbial sacrifices or the renunciations or the letting go, the cutting of the ties, the releasing of the self-limiting beliefs and all of that, it's all part and parcel of the beginning, just the beginning of transformation, from the ego mind to the heart, to the intuition. And that softness that we are being encouraged to have is a beautiful, divine, feminine frequency. And that is what I want you to connect with through this channel, through me, through the words of inspiration that we're going to be sharing together, through connecting with people, by looking at people, and by coming into a situation with an open heart and trust. And I know it's extremely difficult, especially for men. But this is why it is so difficult, because there are not enough men that can harness this vibrational frequency. If a woman feels like she can trust you, she can be free around you, and she is feeling loved by you, that's the beginning. That's pretty much it. You know, and for us to feel safe with you, we need to know you. There is a culture of young men that need to be mentored into making better decisions about their bodies, because it will catch up with you. And I'm talking about any kind of action. Needs assessment to see, is it of a nature that is going to help you align? Is it with a nature that encourages a thought pattern or habits of high vibrational attributes? What are you listening to? Is it really settling your heart and your mind and nourishing your soul? Ask yourself deeply, is it really? All right, let's read the month of July at the beginning of our chapter. A novel method for self-realization is suggested by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita. Other methods had been suggested before him. There were those who wanted us to close our eyes to the world, go into seclusion, and by a process of introverted mental gaze, perceive the light of the self within, as I've mentioned, the meditative option. Others insisted on our doing our duties and serving humanity with the sole intention of self-purification, but refused to discuss the next step. Okay. We should see the world, but not as the world. We should see it as the manifestation of God, His power, His glory. In other words, this is as if we were sitting in the cinema with wide open eyes and not only seeing the moving figures, but the screen on which they are projected. Try it. You know, we don't have to think of ourselves as being selfish when we want to put ourselves on center stage. When we are making all these desired choices, hopefully without too much input and distraction from others, because it's usually the ones that are in our corner or in our circle that are pinning us or hindering that desired movement in any direction. And yeah, if you feel blockages from others and it's a serious challenge, how do you, perhaps it's something that we can open up in comments. How do you challenge the change with peers that you feel are stuck in their own cycles? When we are transformed and awakened, we want to accelerate and expand. It's a conscious yet internal, almost secretive part of ourselves that we want to nurture like a baby and we can start putting forcible boundaries up around us and confuse a lot of people. In that confusion, it's really important to look after yourself, because if you get confused with the direction you're going in, you will sever a tie. You will sever a plan, a divine plan. Right, let's read today's reading. As the mighty wind, moving everywhere, rests always in space, even so, know thou that all beings rest in me. The reality is just like space, and what is obvious is like the wind, the movement of air in space. This wind, existing and moving in space, enables all things to come into being, to flourish. In a manner of speaking, it is the wind of life force or prana that manifests itself as all this. Vibrating somewhere, it is called something. Vibrating elsewhere, it is called something else. Prana or life force is responsible for the manifestation of the diverse phenomena and diverse beings. Yet space is totally unaffected by these beings arising, existing, and dissolving. This is an important concept which must be clearly grasped. All things exist in space. They are part of space, as it were. When a building is erected, space has not vanished or been destroyed. It is still there, not merely as the enclosed space within the building, but as the space that even the solid walls occupy. It is in the building, not confined to it, but really confining it. God exists in us in this sense only. By virtue of his omnipresence, he is within us and all around us. In quantum physics, we are knocking at the door of this truth. Having come close to the immateriality of matter, we are just dancing subatomic particles, which may also be waves. If all of us are mere waves of energy, we are not so solid after all. No. Well, we shouldn't be. We need to be in this lightness. We need to flow. So the not so obvious is the reality in all that seems to be obvious. This is the distinction between material and immaterial beings. Water in a jar moves with the jar. The immaterial space in an empty jar, being omnipresent, does not move with it. Similarly, the omnipresent God is not subject to activity, birth, and death. Despite the cyclonic activity in the universe, the Self or Brahman or God is ever quiescent. Even the birth and death of beings are only apparent. You are space, my friend, mere space. That space is filled with the divine presence whose nurture is Sit Sakti, not blind energy, but energy which is full of consciousness. The consciousness somehow becomes aware of a world and of an infinite variety of creatures. That awareness itself is the creator, and that awareness itself you are. How beautiful that I began this reading talking about intuition and how important that is for awareness. Let's hold this in the space with us for a time to contemplate. Understand that love comes from the heart, and it doesn't need to be understood or analyzed or pulled apart. Thank you for being here with me today. Please share this reading with anyone you think might resonate with it, so we can build a conscious community and increase our frequency into a high vibrational, energetic, grid working pattern. Imagine that. We can, and we must now. It's time. I feel like a lot of the devastating climate changes and natural, almost unnatural disasters that we are having across the world is our Mother Earth just fighting back, fighting to balance and harmonize the energy. And I'm quite sure she is agonized by the pain that a lot of people are going through, completely overanalyzing disorders and trauma and the need for more healing, and that we're all so hurt and broken. We're not. There is someone for each one of us, some divine soul just waiting to find you, to connect with you, to guide you through this journey. And we have to put ourselves on a quest to find those like-minded souls, create tribes of people that can merge and collaborate and share, create this ever-expanding cyclic ripple, intertwine our hearts, free our minds into union with one cosmic consciousness. Yes, so I am rambling a little bit now, and I look forward to sharing some poetry with you in the future when, yeah, soon. All right, sending blessings to you. The divine in me honors the divine in you. Namaste. God bless. Have a beautiful day.